Gay ships. Fans pushing for romantic pairings of same-sex characters in fiction. We see these all the time. But why? I mean, you look at each show and you think this is unnecessary. For most of these stories, there's usually a designated love interest with a but. A character, often too, that the writers set aside as an aspect of the story to officialize when convenient for the story, oftentimes in the end. Invincible starts with Amber in the beginning, but Eve. Naruto initially pursues Sakura, but Hinata. Sung Jin-woo seems to have a connection with Lee Joo-hee, but Chaehyun. In almost every case where fans have pushed for a gay ship to become canon, there's already a hinted at straight heterosexual ship right there that writers are setting up. I can already hear it. At this point, you guys are either yelling some gamer words at your screen after seeing the title and thumbnail, and the sound of my voice is just fading in and out while you furiously comment away in your slur-fueled haze. Or you're following me rationally, thinking, Portal, of course there's always going to be gay ships because there's gays who want to see themselves represented in media. And to that I say, fair point. But is that the whole story? I see more oftentimes non-gay men pushing for male characters to get together in fiction than I see gay men do so. Think of all the straight women that push for Destiel to be canon in Supernatural, the shipping of Dean and Castiel, or for Jason Victor to be canon as a ship in Arcane. I think it happens often enough that summing this up to simple representation isn't telling the whole story. Most of the time, often in shonen anime, a common complaint will be that relationship drama or romance tends to detract from the action or core storyline which fans came to the story for. For example, Invincible is mainly interesting for the Viltrumite conflict, and after hearing Anissa mention Conquest's potential arrival, you spend every rooftop conversation between Eve and Mark counting down the seconds until his arrival. In Naruto, you want to see the development of the conflict between the Leaf and Sasuke, or the Leaf and the Akatsuki, so seeing Sakura confess to Naruto to pull him away from going after Sasuke literally serves as an obstacle between fans and wanting to see the main plot unfold, leaving them rolling their eyes. Oftentimes, with male main characters, their designated female love interest serves as a step away from the action the MC often finds himself dealing with. Think Mark Grayson and Amber, Spider-Man and Gwen, Superman and Lois Lane, or Naruto and Sakura. Oftentimes, the love interest serves as a core motivation and exploitable weakness of the MC because they're more of a mortal. And even when they aren't, the power crawl in the series will usually have the MC leave the love interest behind as the stakes of the show rise higher and higher, eventually leading to a point where the protagonist and their villains are so powerful that whatever abilities the love interests have are rendered obsolete in comparison. And as such, they lack the agency to directly affect the challenges of the MC, and are relegated to cheer them on or serve as a source of emotional drama to heighten the challenges our MC deals with, through either halting the MC's mental focus on the main conflict and frustrating the viewer, or to be a casualty of the main conflict that ends up firing up the motivations of the MC, which, by the way, is so common that there's literally a term for it: fridging. When we write our protagonists' love interests to be passive actors within the world, low agency, and weak, however, fridging makes sense. After all, you can only annoy your audience with filler scenes for so long until you either let the love interest fade into irrelevance and be forgotten by the story, or maximize fully and get the bang for your buck by killing them off brutally to make your MC suffer into a new, bloodlusted state of power, where the audience gets excited to see them wield their abilities in a way that steps out of their previously defined moral code. Bring, 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 bring.
Portal, you haven't answered the damn question. Why do gay ships happen?
Right. Gay ships happen because they solve this problem. After all, if an audience would only find the designated love interest compelling once they've been fridged to motivate that power fantasy climax, the love interest fails to be interesting beyond their use as a plot device. One of the most popular examples of a gay ship being prescribed for this problem is Naruto and Sasuke, two foils that both strive for higher agency and power in their own opposing ways, with the goal of changing the world they each suffered in as orphans. While a side plot of romance with a character who lacks an ambition or drive of their own detracts screen time from developing the ongoing main conflicts and dramas in the story, when fans add undertones of a romantic relationship to the conflict between two characters who are the center of the story, the ship only serves to intensify the drama and enrich it, as both characters hold agency and power which is on par with one another. And as such, their possible relationship is that much more interesting because we aren't being dragged through the boredom of pretending a romantic connection that takes away from the plot is important. We're watching two active forces within a fictional world, two characters, interesting and worthy of their own fleshed out stories, intersect and clash in a way that makes for truly compelling drama. The important aspect here isn't that the ship is gay. I mean, it'll happen more often if you write flat, one-note, or unlikable female characters in your stories, where the protagonist/antagonist guys are usually where the viewers insert themselves and can actually empathize with their actions and motivations. The important part is agency. If you think I'm just here to push an agenda, take a look here. In Arcane, one of the most compelling and riveting relationships we see presented is that between Jinx, an Undercity terrorist struggling through her own grapples with trauma, and Echo, an Undercity revolutionary who also struggles with his own past trauma. These two very competent characters are incredibly influential forces for change in affecting the plot, and at the same time, they also exist as different answers to the oppression of the Undercity by Piltover. So their differing approaches, beliefs, and conflict being undertoned by an attraction and care for each other enriches that main plot instead of feeling like a distraction from it. Jinx and Echo's ship, Time Bomb, works as a narrative theme for this reason. The relationship between them isn't just compelling as motivation after one of their deaths, and it certainly isn't annoying the audience. After all, the millions of people who are praying and hoping to see more of their interactions in deleted scenes in the Season 2 music video go to illustrate my point further. Their relationship serves to pay itself off as a compelling aspect of the story in their every interaction, whether they're fighting, making up, or working together for a shared goal. And that's really the key takeaway here. It's not that people ship characters just because of the same gender or just because they want to see more representation in media. Those things can be factors, sure. But at the core of it, people are drawn to ships where both characters matter, where both characters influence the story, push the narrative forward, and exist as more than just set pieces in someone else's journey. When the designated love interest in a story is just that, someone designated, someone whose entire existence is built around supporting the protagonist rather than living their own story, it's no wonder audiences gravitate towards the characters who are actually doing things, changing things, mattering in the grand scheme of the plot. And yeah, sometimes that just so happens to be two guys, or two girls, because good writing doesn't care about gender or politics, it cares about agency. And when a story gives both characters that level of narrative importance, it's only natural that audiences will empathize better and find deeper connections between them. So no, it's not just about pushing an agenda or forcing representation, it's about the fact that compelling storytelling naturally leads people to invest in relationships where both characters stand on equal ground. And if writers want to curb the endless rise of fan-made gay ships,
not that there's anything wrong with that. Not at all.
maybe, just maybe, they should start writing their female love interests with the same level of agency and impact as their male leads. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a voice on the internet. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there a ship I missed that perfectly fits this pattern? I'd love to hear what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on more deep dives like this one.